You know, there's been a report come out. There's been a record number of people who are expats throughout the world that have been renouncing their U.S. citizenship. And this is something that definitely they're reporting on. And, you know, we're going to go through and find out why. So they were saying that more than 5,800 Americans gave up their citizenship the first 6 months of 2020, compared to the 2,072 Americans who renounced their citizenship all of 2019. So you have way more people within the first 6 months gave up their U.S. citizenship. OK, now they said that according to Bambridge Accountants, it's a New York based firm that specializes in U.S. expat tax, UK expats and actors and other creators for the U.S. and UK. They said the firm examined the public data as they're published by the U.S. government every 3 months of all the names of Americans who gave up their citizenship. They said there are mainly people who already left the U.S. and have just decided they had enough of everything. They say what we've seen is that people are over everything happening with President Donald Trump, and say how the coronavirus pandemic has been handled and the political policies in the U.S. at the moment. Well, the handling of the coronavirus has been horrible. I mean, it's been horrible. I have never seen people who are so remedial. And I'm using that word because I really want to use another word. People who are so-called governors, people who are mayors, that you don't have a mind of your own. Whatever Donald Trump says, you do. You don't think about what he's saying. You don't pay attention to his track record. You do nothing. If Donald Trump says A, you say A. He say B, you say B. You don't question anything. You will open up your states without even listening to your experts. Georgia, Florida, Texas. And then now you wonder why the coronavirus spikes up in your state because you're listening to him. I've never seen that. We've had other Republican presidents, you know, in my lifetime. We've had George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, and then Ronald Reagan. Of course, you know, I remember him. I've never seen people act that way with those three Republican presidents. What is it about this guy that you guys are just like so, I don't know if you guys are starstruck with Donald Trump. I think that's what a lot of it is, because you literally follow this dude like he's the second coming of Jesus or something. That's the way y'all treat Donald Trump. I'm talking about these people who's in leadership, these Republicans. Like you don't have your own brain. You're scared of him. You won't challenge him. Oh, because he's going to roast you on Twitter, or he's going to call you a name. Ooh, that's a big thing because he called you some names. You know what I'm saying? People see the incompetence. Listen, I don't care what y'all say. Donald Trump sat up here and called African nations S-hole countries, and yet none of those nations have the amount of deaths the U.S. have. None of them. Pick an African nation, you won't find one, not even with 10,000 deaths. Some of them, some countries only got like 400, 500 deaths. You understand what I'm saying? So people seeing that. People in the Caribbean seeing that. People all over the world. Look, New Zealand, right? They have, in 100 days, they haven't had no coronavirus cases. Because, you know, I do the research on what different countries done. New Zealand actually had a lockdown, a real lockdown, not this partial lockdown crap that we had. You get what I'm saying? And then you got people coming out here with guns talking about, I need a haircut. I need a massage. This is the things that they're complaining about. They open the states back up and then our coronavirus cases, and now the governors have to start scaling things back now. I mean, so yes, people that's outside this country say, man, what the hell? Like, they say, what is this? You get what I'm saying? So they're saying many people also renounce their citizenship and complain about being unhappy with today's political climate in the U.S. And another decision is taxes. OK, now, just because you say, you know what, I'm going to move to Nigeria, I'm going to move to South Africa, I'm going to move to the Philippines or Vietnam. I'm just talking about different places I know a lot of black expats are at. You still responsible for your taxes. Yes. And you're not even living here. Let's say you just like, man, look, you only come to the U.S. to visit your family and you go back. Right. You're still responsible for taxes. So U.S. citizens living abroad are still required to file taxes every year. Report their. Now, listen to what you got to report. Now, you made you a new life in another nation, but you still have to report your foreign bank accounts, your investments, and your pensions. while you in this nation. So if you got a bank account in South Africa, you still got to tell the U.S. about your bank account over there. If you're investing in anything, you got to tell them. And you got a pension for whatever nation you living in, you still got to tell them. Okay, so while these citizens was able to get the $1,200, in stimulus checks and the $500 for each child, because they still consider U.S. citizens, many, they say the annual U.S. tax reporting says too much. And saying Americans who want to, now check this out, if you want to relinquish your citizenship, you must pay $2,350. Listen to that. And appear at a person at a U.S. embassy in the country if you're not in America. And say, despite the risk that come with giving up U.S. citizenship, they were saying that the trend is going to continue. Say a lot of people are waiting for the November election to see what's going to go on, with the president, right? They say if President Trump is reelected, we believe there'll be another wave of people who decide to renounce their citizenship. And yeah, a lot of people are waiting on this election to see what's going on, because Donald Trump and these Republicans that's running right now, because I'm gonna say the Republicans, because they just really follow everything he says. They have no mind of their own, none of them for the most part. They really have been just horrible. You look in Georgia, that school they opened, no mask, they have handled this whole situation horribly. And of course, Jim Crow Joe is not the best candidate at all. He's not. I believe the Democrats had a lot better to choose from than Jim Crow Joe. But the things that Donald Trump has done, he makes Jim Crow Joe don't look as bad at this point. You get what I'm saying? So I've talking to people, they got people of all colors, that says that they're coming out to vote for Jim Crow Joe for the simple fact of the coronavirus. They said that what Trump did was too much. Too many people are dead. And we have to understand, if Barack Obama was president right now, and you had more than 160,000 people dead in America, they would be demanding he resign. They'll be demanding he resign. If Barack Obama had said, you need to open the schools back up, and then kids are getting coronavirus, they would be so pissed off and saying he's the cause of children getting the coronavirus. Barack Obama's the cause of people dying. Oh, look at Barack Obama and his handling of the coronavirus crashed the economy. Barack Obama's the fault. He needs to go. And they would have been up there at the White House demanding that he resign. But because it's Trump and he's the right color, he's bad. And yeah, we gotta, it's not that smoke. And Trump has done things that I couldn't believe he's gotten away with. He has violated every kind of rule out there. He oversteps his bounds and all kind of things that he do out there. And Trump still gets away with it. The media don't come at him a certain way. Yes, every day CNN talks about Trump, but they would not talk about Trump the way they would have talked about a Barack Obama. Let's call it what it is. And we see the difference when it's a Mzungu president versus a black one. We definitely see the difference. He can do whatever he wants just about, and still is an excuse for that. So a lot of people definitely wants to find out what's going on with the election. Now Donald Trump talking about that if you've been to an area where it's a coronavirus hotspot, now he's talking about putting in where U.S. citizens can't even come back to the country if there was in some area where coronavirus at. Now, see, that's going way too far. Way too far. And this is what make people say, okay, man, all right. Now you're starting to do a little too much. Okay, you're doing too much, because Donald Trump doesn't like globalism. He doesn't like the interconnecting of the economies and us be able to move. And also at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, they don't like us. A lot of black folks have been going to the continent too. And we're making connections. We're making businesses. We're doing all kind of things. They don't want to lose their slaves. I always said that. I'm not talking about these low-level white supremacists that they don't run nothing. That doesn't matter. I'm not talking about these black folks that just going to try to condemn you. I'm talking about really people that know what they know. They don't want to lose their slaves. They don't want to lose the slave class, because they know if we got to the continent of Africa and just had free reign to do what we need to do without dealing with their racism, we going to make it pop out there. They know that, and they don't want us over there, or they don't want us showing a different way and waking our people up on the continent. They want to continue to go down there and do the evil that they're doing. And the Chinese want to do what they're doing. So there's a lot of people that don't want us, the diaspora, there. So this is a perfect time to try to keep us locked in. So that's one of my biggest issues with Trump. He's trying to keep us locked in where we can't travel, we can't go. And listen, I got things to do on the continent, myself personally. I have things to do. And we can't, I just can't deal with Trump on that issue alone. Now, if he would have never done any of those kind of moves, and economy, listen, I don't care what they do. I don't get involved with that. But now you're trying to impede my movement to the continent. I have a little bit more issue with that. And a lot of people have a lot of issue with that. You're ruining travel business, etc. That's billing paying their households and doing all that off of travel. So he's definitely going a little bit too far. So that's why, Jim Crow Joe is whether people like it or not, he may get more votes than what people initially thought because of that. Donald Trump, like I said, this is more so his doing. It is what it is. The reason why we can't travel nowhere is because of Donald Trump and his failures with the coronavirus. So we got a lot to think about when it comes to this election. Of course, he's supposed to be picking his VP pick. I don't know who he's picking. I don't know. But we'll see, when that comes up. But leave me a comment, guys. Let me know what you think about, people renouncing their U.S. citizenship. You never would have really heard something like this. But we're living in some definitely interesting times.